Gentlemen, do not adjust your set. I am Hitman Kaz, and welcome to the first ever State of the Giants address. The president has the State of the Union address. I've decided to have a State of the Giants address, where I give my final thoughts on the whole season. Now, I already did something similar to this previously, like not too long ago. But now that we unfortunately are no longer in the playoffs, I thought I might speak as a whole about the team. First off, to Giants fans everywhere, please take a deep breath and calm down. Yes, that loss to the Sheagles was horrible. And if there was any way for us to go out, that was not the ideal way to go out. If anything, we should have went out swinging. Instead, we just rolled over and died. But even still, this is one of those losses where you have to look at the bigger picture. And honestly, the bigger picture is any and every Giant fan should feel proud to be a fan of the New York Football Giants. Given their entire body of work for the entire season, you should be proud. Me, as a Giants fan, words cannot describe how proud I am of this organization. Because honestly, at the beginning of the season, if you would have told me that we would have made it all the way to the NFC divisional round, even though I tend to think with my heart rather than my brain, I still would have thought you were wilding. But to see them actually do it after years and years of frustration, anguish, heartbreak, screw ups, for them to do this makes me very, very happy. If anything, at the beginning of the season, we were literally dead to rights at the beginning of the season. Nobody outside our fan base was giving us a chance. And hell, there was even a good amount of people within the fan base that wasn't giving us a chance of success. You had NFL commentators, sports analysts, and quote-unquote experts day in and day out for the off season, doubting us, thinking we were gonna crap the bed just as bad as we did seasons prior. But then here, and then also, with the biggest question in the air, Daniel Jones, as we didn't pick up his fifth-year option, so at the conclusion of the season, he's going to be a free agent. People, were wondering if he was going to, finally get it together, or if he was going to fall apart and just remain the same and become a free agent or whatever. But here we are, and we, once again, like I said, we overachieve. We do what the Giants know how to do better than anybody else, is prove the doubters wrong. And we turn out a winning season. We have young guys that are showing out, doing their thing. Saquon Barkley finally comes back into form. Daniel Jones, freaking, he's balling, freaking looking like a whole new quarterback, and honestly, it was this season was such a pleasure, such a beauty to watch. And honestly, if not the players, then somebody that I have to thank for this season is definitely Brian Daboll. Unlike Ben McAdoo, he did something that I have not seen since Tom Coughlin, and that is he made believers out of not just the team, but the fans. You got players freaking smiling, having a good time, all energized. Everybody brimming with energy, nothing but positivity throughout the team, and it showed in how we played. And no matter how bad things got, Brian Daboll always stayed the course and saw to it that we had our best foot forward, and he also made sure that we didn't get too cocky especially when we were on that winning streak. And going back to when I brought up Ben McAdoo, people wanna bring up. Well, I wanted to bring that up because in McAdoo's first season, he brought us to being 11-5. And then the next season, we freaking shit the bed. Now, for me, the biggest reason that, or like the biggest contrast to Ben McAdoo compared to Brian Daboll is that team that went 11-5 was bought. We spent $200 million on the defense alone, and basically that team was supposed to be Super Bowl or bust, basically. And as people saw, it was bust. Whereas this team, and funny thing is that when it comes to this season, people might not believe me when I say this, but this season was supposed to be a rebuild. I shit you not, this season was supposed to be a rebuild. That's why us finishing the season with the record that we had was so surprising, because we were rebuilding. And that's the contrast. That's the other contrast to this team with Brian Daboll compared to Ben McAdoo, is that this team was not bought. It was homegrown. Like a majority of these players were homegrown. Like Kadarius Toney. Of course, Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley. And we have lots of young pieces. That's another great thing with this. We have youth on our side. And with youth will come experience. And the experience will breed success if done the right way with the right coach. And I genuinely think that we have found the right coach with Brian Daboll. Honestly, I'll need to see what happens, next season to get a proper evaluation, because this is only his first season. But if he's able to stay the course next season, then like I said, we found our coach. And I really shouldn't do this, but I have to make comparisons. I'll then have to try and make comparisons to Tom Coughlin, because because Coughlin, he gave us two Super Bowls, and I honestly have nothing but love and respect for Tom Coughlin, and I was absolutely pissed when he was forced to resign. And the hell with forcing him to resign, he got fired. I was absolutely pissed. He shouldn't have been forced to resign. But it is what it is. Now, as far as Daniel Jones goes, I'd like to bring up him because if you guys remember, this was his put up or shut up year, where this was his year where he had to prove himself, because at the start of the season we didn't pick up his fifth year option, so which means that at the conclusion of the season he's going to be a free agent. So if he had any desire to remain a Giant, he would have to he'd have to prove his worth. He'd have to earn his keep, earn the right to keep that jersey. But with that being said, that also means that even if say we want to keep him, there's also the underlying factor of whether or not he would like to stay a Giant, and don't get me wrong, he has done a superb job using being a free agent as motivation to to show that he's that guy, and this year was not only to prove that, but also to prove that if he was to show out, then it would show that we made a mistake by not picking up the fifth year option. And one thing that was really telling was the fact that when he was interviewed about the fifth year option and whether or not he was going to stay a Giant, he didn't give a clear answer, which of course is a very smart move on his behalf, because if he was to show any kind of indication that he wants to stay a Giant, that would give us leverage, because then we would probably give him some sort of task or quest, or basically have him jump through hoops, or give him a task to do just to further prove how badly he wants to be a Giant. And with him not giving a clear answer, that takes that away. But at the same time, it does scare me a bit, because here's the deal. If he stays, that it's good, because we know what he brings to the table, and then on top of that, he'll only be getting better, and then on top of that, the chemistry that he's already built with the team is gonna continue to rise and strengthen, actually, and thus making the team better. But unfortunately, if he just chooses to test the free agency waters, unfortunately, I will be disappointed. But I will understand, because in a sense, look at it this way, we didn't believe in him and we gave up on him. So he'd rather go. So he'd try and go somewhere where they wouldn't give up on him and whatnot, which is understandable. But then, say he does leave the Giants and tests the free agency. That then, for me, creates the problem of who do we get to replace him? I mean, we could, promote Tyrod Taylor the first string and have him start. But no offense to him, but I'd like a better piece, a better star. So, that would have me wondering who to get. And I wouldn't, and I'm not gonna sit here and just pull Lamar Jackson out of my ass, because sure, yeah, the Ravens have yet to pay the man, and he's more than likely also going to be a free agent. But at the same time, just because he's a free agent doesn't mean he's going to sign with the Giants. For all we know, he probably is going to resign with the Ravens or go to another team. That's why I'm not saying him. So, a lot of questions also going into the offseason, along with the much needed, the improvement that's going to be there. But that's all I got for this state of the Giants address. I definitely want to thank each and every one of y'all for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come and chill with your boy. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead, hit the like button. Comment if you feel like it. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new video. And until next time, by way of Struggle Vision Productions, I am the Hitman Kaz, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.